All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin. Another Chelsea transfer news edition. I know there's a lot of Euros going on, but you know what? Honestly, I mean, some matches are okay, some matches are not that great. England one was actually all right. I mean, I got to see a lot of, only the one Chelsea player, but a lot of Premier League players, so it was a bit interesting. Can't wait for the Germany game to come on, obviously the France game as well. But yeah, as I follow Germany, I can't wait for the Germany one. I don't think that's today. I think the Germany one's tomorrow. So we'll look out for that. But before all of that, as I said, it's back to the transfer news. Some really big news coming up in regards to Achraf Hakimi. And I want to spark a debate today. I really want to spark a debate about Declan Rice and Kalvin Phillips. We're not linked with Kalvin Phillips, but I'm trying to pose a question. Why aren't we linked with Kalvin Phillips? Because for me, this guy seems phenomenal. I've said it from a very long time, so we'll get into that. But before all of that, first of all, we've got nearly 30 people already live. Smash the like button. You guys are gonna enjoy this show a lot. We've got a lot to talk about. So smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. And also Taryn's socials in the description. Go out there and follow, especially his podcast, The Perfect Hat-Trick Podcast is amazing. My man Taryn, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. I mean, it's a great time of year. The Euros are on. Everything's good. Drinks are getting colder in the UK. Summer's coming. But, hay fever. I don't know if you know about that. It's honestly a killer in the UK. My nose, I have ice water here. If I sneeze about 50 times during the stream, I'm really sorry, everyone. But honestly, this is a killer. But, yeah, apart from that, very, very happy to be back on. And, yeah, Kalvin Phillips, what a player.
What a player, bro. Look, I know everything about hay fever. I got it in my family as well. My mum's got hay fever. I've got hay fever. So I know everything about hay fever. Don't you worry. My man, let's get straight into it. As I said, we've got 32 people. They're all looking forward to this particular show. We're going to start off with Hakimi. Achraf Hakimi news before we get to that juicy debate. And down the track, once the debate is getting heated, I'm sure I'm going to let in, some of the fans to come in and have their opinions as well expressed. So do stay tuned for that later in the show where I will let you guys have your opinions as well. But Taryn, Achraf Hakimi, big news overnight in the last 24 hours. PSG apparently are going towards Serge Aurier. Serge Aurier is a particular player that's not looking to stay at Spurs. I think he's declined a contract extension, so on and so forth. And he's actually looking to get out. This is what the news is at the moment with Spurs. And I think Spurs want to get rid of him anyway. They're just fed up with that kind of right back, I suppose. They weren't happy with him. So that looks like that section of things is happening. So what PSG is doing is going for a cheaper option. Hakimi, Inter is not budging. They want 80 million euros for Hakimi. And PSG were just kind of getting fed up. They got themselves Donnarumma. They've got themselves Wijnaldum, and Hakimi right back is the particular position they were looking for. And since Hakimi is at 80 million, they're just not willing to spend that level of money for him. And now they're going for Serge Aurier, which is approximately about 20 million, a lot cheaper option. And Serge Aurier came from PSG, so he should know the club very well. I think Pochettino has also had Serge Aurier at Spurs when he was there. So he knows this particular player very well as well. So that being said, Taryn, Hakimi's only other club that is interested is Chelsea, and Inter need to sell Hakimi. So we are clear, my man. We are absolutely clear. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, it looks like it's going to happen now, doesn't it? I think the stars are aligned, like we mentioned before. There was probably the only fact I'd say before was that PSG could offer more money, and that would be the determining factor for Aurier. But now that's gone out of the window, I think. I think Aurier had a good 5-6 years at PSG before, so it'll be understandable to go back there. He's worked with Pochettino, like you said. That was a manager who brought the best out of him going forward. And defensively, it's never really worked under Mourinho, under Ryan Mason at Spurs. And I think PSG have some good options at right back already. They have Colin Dagba, who can play there. They have Alessandro Florenzi, who's currently playing for Italy at the Euros. And it looks like they don't really want to spend a lot of money on Hakimi, who's going to really elevate the position. Maybe need some competition for Florenzi and Dagba. And that could be Aurier. I think that league is suited to more attacking fullbacks, especially for PSG who like to play really high up the pitch. They don't usually like to defend in their own box. So Aurier can be that kind of false right wing at times who can make the late runs into the box. And yeah, that could suit really well. But yeah, Hakimi for Chelsea, it's just about, I've seen some reports also that we're going to swap Emerson Palmieri plus 50 million euros, which could be a big. I mean, that would be around 40 million euros plus 17 million for Emerson. So I think it could definitely work. I mean, that's the only offer. But yeah, if you look at it from context, it looks like we're definitely going to get Hakimi if we can strike a deal with Inter.
Yeah, man. Look, and Inter are now in a very bad spot. Like PSG pulling out, they can't negotiate, because when PSG was still around, they could sort of tell Chelsea, well, we're not budging. We've still got PSG interested. We're not budging. This is the price. Take it or leave it. Now it's like PSG's like, see you later. We're going with Serge Aurier, cheaper option. We're not going to pay you that level of money. Now the ball, I feel the ball is in Chelsea's corner. Chelsea can say, mate, you better give this player, because there is literally no other club at the moment absolutely interested, which is madness. But then again, I think about, not many clubs play with the three, like the top clubs play with the three and the wing back, which is perfect for us, because Hakimi, he can play the right back position. He can probably play the left back as well. But for me, he's an outstanding, probably world's #1 wing back. There is a difference between right back and a right wing back, or a left back and a left wing back. As you know, wing backs are probably more as wingers in a back three. You've got to have the attacking potency. You've got to be very good attacking wise. Defensively, you need to be great as well, but you can kind of get away with it if your attacking is great, because you do have the three. The right CB can look after it, and we play with the 6-6 as well. So, I mean, Inter, it's like we can now say, okay, you're interested with Emerson, so we're going to give you Emerson, so that's going to fetch us X amount of money, and whatever you want for Hakimi, which is, as I said, about 80 million, you got to bring that down a little bit, because we are giving you Emerson. And there's been an article, I think Simon Phillips and Dan McCarthy, they've just published one in their particular Twitter page, which says that Chelsea are looking to put somewhere around a 50 million euros bid. So, I mean, I'm hoping this happens, because we are looking for a right wing back. Let's be honest. I mean, we've been touted with Adama Traore, and that's probably one place that, do you feel as well that that's one place where if we improve next season, we could be a super dynamic team?
I wouldn't say that should be our priority position, in my opinion, but I think definitely if we get Hakimi in, who's a world-class player, it's going to get us, like I said in the previous stream, that's going to get us at least 10 goals and 10 assists, in my opinion, in all comps next season. In the system we play, under Antonio Conte, he plays quite a defensive system, which is still accumulating a lot of goals and assists for Hakimi. If we're playing so high up the pitch with Thomas Tuchel,
I think it was 7 goals, 10 assists in the Serie A. So
yeah, I think all comps, I think it was 8 assists or something, but still that's amazing numbers, honestly, for a defensive system. In a system where we're going to have most of the ball, we're going to basically be camping in their boxes. If you think about Arsenal this season, West Brom, Aston Villa, they're all kind of defending. If we have Achraf Hakimi to, make the runs, which he knows in his head perfectly when to run, when to hold back, and he knows it perfectly. Maybe Reece James doesn't have that. Maybe Azpilicueta doesn't have that. That's going to really elevate us and get us more goals, which should take us up to second place, up to third place.
And the other thing as well, Taran, is on the counter, this man does not mess around.
Exactly,
He is lethal in the counter.
What I've seen from this guy is he's very tactically fluid. He's good at sitting back in a low five at the back to transition, and he's also good, defending, attacking high up the pitch. If we're defending low against Man City or something, and you pass to Hakimi, he's going to break past Joao Cancelo, run, drive at the defense, open up the space for Mason Mount, for Kai Havertz.
You love Cancelo, don't you? You know he's got the weakness. You always go after Cancelo, bro.
Actually, if he's listening right now, I'm very sorry. Please consider coming on the podcast. But yeah, honestly, I think that is maybe a weakness of City. But yeah, Hakimi is very versatile. He's played under Lucien Favre, a high pace system. He's played under Antonio Conte defenses. This guy knows a lot of different tactics, and under Thomas Tuchel, who's a manager known to bring out the attacking flair of different players, it honestly looks like a really, really tasty combination between them two. German gegenpressing manager, fast, high-paced, all dynamic, all guns blazing right wing back. What's not to love?
Yeah, man, it's what we said a couple of days ago when we did the breaking news, how it was sort of unfolding, that it all makes sense. Hakimi, playing in the Bundesliga previously, Thomas Tuchel knows everything about the Bundesliga, knows everything about Dortmund as well. So, it feels like it's a match made in heaven. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like Adama Traore is more of a secondary option for us. I feel number one, absolute option is Hakimi. And boy, oh boy, if we also add Haaland, Taran, I mean, can you imagine what this link up could end up being? And Hakimi, I feel like he will make a lot of chances as well. So he'll make players in and around him like Mason Mount. If Kai Havertz gets a start, Timo Werner, he'll make them a lot better as well. Give them clear-cut chances to bang in the goals. So that probably be very exciting as well, right?
This guy is known to get on the money crosses, on the money passes. His timing is very good of when to cross, when to maybe drive at a player. You've seen he's linked up with Haaland very well last season, with Lukaku very well this season. He's got the multiple goals. Haaland last season, when he came from a Red Bull Salzburg, he was banging in the goals left, right, centre. And a main factor that was Achraf Hakimi with his deliveries, with his dribbling, with his real opening up the space for Haaland to run in behind. And that's what he can do. I think he'll elevate Havertz to get more goals and assists. Mason Mount, he's been known to, create a lot of chances, but not have people finish them. And Hakimi rarely misses big chances. He's a guy who'll get onto the end of moves, from right wing back coming into the box, making them inverted runs in behind on the last line, which we haven't really seen Reece James and Aspi do a lot. That's what he's going to do. And like I said, this guy's going to elevate the whole squad a lot, and he's going to get us at least 10 goals and assists next season. It's insane.
Bro, I can't wait. The way Mason Mount, first of all, we've got nearly 60 people. Smash the like button if you're enjoying this. Honestly, helps the channel out a lot, helps the video out a lot. So smash the like button while you're at it. Get to at least 50 likes right away. I mean, Taran, Mason Mount for England yesterday looked so good, man. I mean, Kalvin Phillips for me, and we will start talking about Kalvin Phillips very soon. Kalvin Phillips looked so good, but you know what, Taran? I don't know about you. I don't get to watch that many matches outside of Chelsea. But when I do have a bit of time, honestly, you know this, like we've talked about it in our channel, I love Leeds, man. I love watching Leeds. I've talked highly about Bielsa. You know it very well. I had Connor here from Leeds One channel, and we've talked about Bielsa. And do you know what I mean? I was not one bit surprised about Kalvin Phillips' performance. And similarly, not one bit surprised about Mason Mount's performance, the way he was playing against Croatia yesterday. Couple of passes, he was robbed 2 assists, bro. He was literally robbed 2 assists. So to think about someone like Hakimi linking up with Mason Mount, it's mouth-watering, bro. And Hakimi's 22, do you know what I mean? He's another youngster, so it's perfect. The longevity, the dynasty, it fits our, the project very nicely, the profile of player that we want. Even though he's young, Taran, he's very experienced as well still. Do you know what I mean? We talk about a young player, he's another young player. But he's played in Dortmund, he's played in Inter, he's even had a little bit of a stint at Real Madrid. He's played in the highest level in the Champions League. So from that perspective, it's not like we're not getting an experienced player, right, Taran?
Hakimi, yeah, like you said, he was from Real Madrid. He went on loan to Dortmund in 2018-19 season, and he played in a left-back role with the Lucien Favre in the Champions League team that was playing week in, week out in the Champions League. And they ended up finished second in the Bundesliga that season with Hakimi at left-back. And I believe he was only 19 years old at the time. So that's already crazy to show that he broke into a team that was so good and showed a lot of experience for that kind of age. I think that's already a great sign. Second season, 1920, he really started to come into his own in the wing-back position with Erling Haaland, with Jadon Sancho, with Julian Brandt. That was a really scary season as well. Yeah. And now he's moved to Inter just to play as a wing-back under Antonio Conte, and he's done well. I haven't seen one kind of progression in the season. It seems to be.
And the thing is, Taran, Antonio Conte is not a Mickey Mouse manager, bro. He don't get just any type of wing-backs. Do you know what I mean? He gets the best of the best. So,
I mean, apart from Ashley Young and Matteo Darmian, we can forget about them. But yeah, I get what you mean. He gets the best of the best. He developed Alonso to be a very, very average player at Bolton, to be one of the best wing backs in Europe. Victor Moses, who was really non-existent, and made him a world-class wing back. Yeah. And he didn't really need to develop Hakimi that much. He came in, he already showed a lot of experience to know when to run and when to hold back. And he just elevated his game even more. So the way I see it, it's a guy who's worked with Lucien Favre in different systems. He's worked with Antonio Conte. He's perfect. He's world-class in that wing-back position. He'll be good for at least 10 years into the future. It looks like the perfect signing for us, for our future of the club. We see, with Danny Drinkwater, Bakayoko, with these players, we were kind of going in a bad direction back then. But now we're buying Kai Havertz, we're buying Ben Chilwell, we're investing in the youth a lot more. So right now I'm looking at a club who's investing for the future a lot more. And Hakimi fits those plans. We're not going to use him for maybe 2 seasons and sell him on. This 80 million or so abouts is going to be invested into 10 years. So that's probably around 8 million per season, which for me is worth it for a world-class player.
100, man. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much wraps us up with the Hakimi news. Watch this space. PSG looks like they're pulling out. They're going with Serge Aurier. Literally leaves Chelsea as the front runner here. And I'm hoping the transfer window, it's open. Has it opened? I'm pretty sure. I think it's open now.
Maybe I think it's open for English clubs to do the deals. I think the international one opens on the 29th of June. Yeah.
Fair enough, man. I'm hoping by the end of this month or early July, we get this sorted out. Inter needs to sell as well. That's the other factor. But we're in a very good position right now. We don't need to back out. We don't need to commit to what Inter wants. We can literally drive this, and I'm hoping we close this off. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the debate we have all been wanting to talk about. I just thought about, let's get this started. I mean, look, Kalvin Phillips is not someone that we're linked with, but I just think I want to put a bit of context, Taryn. I want to put a bit of context, right? The context is I'm just getting fed up in our social media, especially in football Twitter. Every time our players do well, you don't get that much sort of, noise from the fan base in the likes of, say, Georginio or Kovacic. Kovacic played a very good game for Croatia. You didn't get to watch it. I hope you watch the highlights later on. If you look at from the Croatian point of view, Kovacic was probably their best player, right? Obviously, as I said, Mason Mount had a really good game. Georginio the other day had a very good game for Italy. But you never get to hear about Kovacic. You never get to hear that much about Georginio. Lately, you have getting a little bit more about Georginio. The fan base is appreciating more. But Declan Rice, my days, the guy's a West Ham player. And the way our football, our fan base moves, it's as if he's a Chelsea player. And it's getting to a point, Taryn, where I'm just getting a little bit fed up. I've got no issues with Declan Rice. I think he's a very, very good player. But I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed at how our fan base appreciates him so much when he's actually a West Ham player. He's not signed for us. Do you know what I mean? But after seeing the way Kalvin Phillips absolutely controlled our midfield around the show, and as I said, I have watched Kalvin Phillips quite a few times last season. I don't get to watch that many Chelsea matches, but when I do get to watch, the only matches I get to watch is Chelsea matches, but when I do get to watch other matches, Leeds is the one that I really like to watch because Bielsa plays a really good, brand of football. Taryn, the way Kalvin Phillips plays, and we'll get to a whole heap of other facets, but the way he's so combative defensively, his dribbling is fantastic, his passing vision. I don't know if you remember, Taryn, the first time we played Leeds last season to Bamford. I mean, I'm starting to think we really need to consider him as someone to be part of our midfield as opposed to Declan Rice, who's going to cost a hell of a lot of money. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'll start with talking about how you kind of said the football Twitter thing. I agree. I think it's mostly because he used to play for us before. He's friends with Mason Mount, and you always see him in the training videos with Ben Chilwell and Mount. It almost feels like he's our player at times, and I feel like people get a bit carried away with wanting him at our club. And yeah, I'm not going to lie, Declan Rice is a very, very good central defensive midfielder. He's a leader. He has the full package, in my opinion. But Kalvin Phillips, I think when you see these underrated players come through and you just talk about Declan Rice, people forget about how good Phillips is at times. This guy is a dribbling maestro. Defensively, he has the full package. He's so composed on the ball. And for me, the main fact that he's played under Marcelo Bielsa's system, which I know
so technical.
Yeah, people might think, Marcelo Bielsa, but this system is physically very, very demanding. It demands players to interchange positions a lot, to run a lot of kilometers per games. And also technically, you need to be very sound on the ball. It's a possession-based system. It's like the system that is like the hybrid of both worlds, defensively and going forward. And Phillips has worked under that for 3-4 years with a coach who, you see Bielsa on the sidelines, he's on his knees, he's kneeling down, screaming at players, getting them into position, demanding a lot of these players. And Phillips has worked under that. He knows how to be good in a tactical system. For me, I don't think it'll be a big jump for him to go up to Chelsea, in my opinion. I think Thomas Tuchel's system is built for Phillips. He's good transitionally. He can break through. Yesterday, that assist to Raheem Sterling, you don't associate that. Imagine Georginio doing that or Mateo Kovacic. And I'm not trying to overgo them. You just don't see them doing that enough, driving into attacking
Bro,
space.
he
and playing
literally
through.
drove through the middle, beat a couple of players, and slid in the ball with the perfect precision in passing. Do you know what I mean?
This is the holding DM. It's crazy what this guy can do. And we sometimes criticize that we don't have enough goals from midfield. And Phillips can easily do that. He has a great shot on him as well. He can assist.
Yeah.
He can pass, as we saw to Patrick Bamford earlier in the season. I think he's honestly the full package from what I saw yesterday. I've watched him at Leeds a lot this season. And every time I see him, he's probably the player who stands out on the pitch for Leeds, along with maybe Rafinha.
Always.
I really like the look of him. Yeah, he's good as a lone DM. He's good in a 8-8. I could even see him playing in a central attacking midfield role. He's very versatile. He can play anywhere across midfield. It's not like he's a specialist who requires a 6-6 system to really bring the best out of him. He can play in 4, 5, 6 different systems and still play to a high ability. Compared to Declan Rice, I think they're quite similar players, but for me, Phillips is more versatile in where he can play across the middle of the midfield. And if I was Thomas Tuchel in this summer, I'd be looking at Phillips. But for me, it would be around 60 million as well to look at him. English tax is always a big thing with these players. I think the Premier League, I think that's Leeds' biggest asset, in my opinion.
And you know what, Taryn? He's only 25 as well. I'm pretty sure Kalvin Phillips is only 25. So,
and you could argue that's going to even take us to the prime of his career, whereas Declan Rice is only 21. We can have Phillips where he's at the best of his ability, playing for 5-6 years, and we can potentially challenge for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues in that state. So, I think it's very, very good. And I know you like to look at Phillips as well, Miz, and so do I.
Yeah, bro. As I said, for me, there was so many comments yesterday when I tweeted out, "Oh, here we go, reactionary, just one game." And I had to literally comment everyone that was saying that to me, Taryn. I had to go back to them and say, "You don't understand. I actually watch Leeds. I've had Leeds fans come to my channel and we've talked about Kalvin Phillips and we've talked about Bielsa because I rate this player so well." I still even remember, Taryn, the very first game, Leeds versus Liverpool. There was a ball that Kalvin Phillips pinged from the back really deep. And I think he opened up Jack Harrison. And he's done that throughout the season many a times. He's even freed up Rafinha with the long ball from deep. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes he finds a pass. And it's not just the passing range, Taryn. The man under Bielsa, as you said, it's a very demanding system. Without the ball, the work rate that this lad has, he literally hounds and wins the ball. He will go and chase and win the ball back. Do you know what I mean? He ain't waiting. He's not sitting deep just waiting. He will chase and win the ball back from the opposition to kickstart an attack. Yesterday, obviously, we saw a different, we've got a couple of comments here saying we saw a different sort of style where he was more box to box. But kid you not, people that watch Leeds, Taryn, and I'm sure you would have watched it, that's not what he really does for Leeds. In Leeds, he's actually a holder. He actually stays deep. There were so many comments. I'm not sure if you saw this on football Twitter yesterday, Taryn. Many were trying to justify, but that's not a holding midfielder. He doesn't know how to play holding. He's a box to box. Declan Rice has allowed him to play that way. Declan Rice is a genuine holding midfielder. I'm like, dude, you really don't watch Kalvin Phillips because at Leeds he's a pure holding midfielder. He actually doesn't do what he's done for England. So, I mean, what's your thoughts? He could easily be the holding midfielder for Chelsea, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of comments about N'Golo Kante as well. That would be that's actually giving me goosebumps right now. And it's not the hay fever, I promise. It's actually Phillips and Kante. Like, imagine Phillips sitting alongside Kante, and even Kante can sit at times, and now Phillips to destroy as he did in that England game. It looks like a very, very good dynamic duo. And Declan Rice had a very good game yesterday as well. But I think Phillips really performs at high ability, and that's not really to do with Declan Rice. I mean, Rice was doing his thing there, but Phillips has shown that he can play as a lone 6, as a box-to-box. Yesterday is a game that's a lot of pressure. It's a Euro 2020 group stage game to get revenge on Croatia, who knocked us out of the World Cup, and he was really the standout player. Not gonna lie, before the game, I saw Phillips in the lineup, and I was thinking, we have Henderson, we have Bellingham, we have Mount who can play there. Is Phillips really the guy? And I saw him play in a box-to-box role, and he did amazing ability. So, I mean, Phillips looks like the real deal from what I saw yesterday. He's played at a very high level for Marcelo Bielsa, as I mentioned before. He can play many different roles along the middle. He can pass to high ability, he can defend to high ability, he can dribble, he can shoot. I mean, if he had a FIFA card, there'll all be 80 stats, which is good. Like 80 passing, 80 defending, 80 dribbling, 80 physical. And, he has a great haircut as well. And I think Chelsea fans would appreciate that.
And the other thing as well, I mean, Taryn, people talk about, Declan Rice is a leader, this and that, whatnot, academy player, great mates with Mason, whatnot. I mean, let's be honest. Kalvin Phillips, he on his own right is a bit of a leader for Leeds as well. Like one of Bielsa's main player. I remember. I don't know if you watched this, and I saw the documentary for Leeds on Amazon when they were in the Championship, and in the background, you don't understand how badly, because the time where they got beat by Derby, if you remember, they missed out.
Derby.
Yeah, and you know what? They were still the standout team, but just didn't make it that season. At the end of that season, they were scared that they were going to lose a lot of their players and they were scared as well that they were going to lose Bielsa. But luckily enough, they kept Bielsa, and the one player Bielsa apparently penciled down, Taron, was saying, I could lose few players, and I know some of them are going to go because they don't look like they want to stay in the Championship for another season. But one player I cannot lose is Kalvin Phillips. He straight away said that, and they actually showed that in the documentary. And they had to literally go to Kalvin Phillips, because Kalvin Phillips at that time, after that one season, he started getting Premier League sort of offers from a few other clubs. And they literally went up to him and said, look, we'll make you the highest paid player, da-di-da-di-da, so on and so forth. And he stayed on. Like, this is the caliber of the player we're talking about. This is not some sort of, a sideshow. Do you know what I mean? Like, where would you put Kalvin Phillips in the Premier League in terms of proper defensive midfielder or a holding midfielder in the Premier League?
I'd say certainly top 5 this season on basic form. I think maybe I'll go back to my list in a second, but when Leeds had Phillips injured, they tried to put Robin Koch there, they tried to put Click there, and they were losing multiple games. They lost the anchor in the middle who was going to control possession, who was going to be that main focal point, the leader in the team, and that caused a lot of issues. And yeah, for me, up there, definitely in top 5. Maybe Fabinho is ahead of him, and that's probably the only one I can think of. Maybe Rodri is quite similar, I'd say, to Phillips. And for me, the thing that makes Phillips higher is that he can play many different roles to a high ability. It's not like, you just throw him there and he can do all right. He really played well in the box-to-box. He's honestly amazing in a single 6 role. He will do great in a double 6 role. Yeah, I'd say he's up there, definitely in top 5, in my opinion. Maybe not many, I'd say, that are better than him off the top of my head, in terms of what he can do, different roles, different
Basuma probably comes in my mind. Basuma's another one that's done
He's
really
maybe
well.
a box-to-box midfielder. But in terms of holding mids, it's not, I wouldn't say there's many. Maybe Pierre Hojbjerg is, I'd say, ahead of him a little bit right now. But apart from that, this guy is 25 years old. The sky is the limit for him right now. He's coming into the prime years of his career. I think the big move is waiting for him at the minute. He's played many years at Leeds. He's looking for that move that can kind of take him into the Champions League kind of bracket player. But I think if you put this Phillips guy into a Chelsea team, into a United team who need a DM right now, then he's going to fit in like a jigsaw piece, in my opinion. He's just, he has everything you need. Linking up with Mason Mount next season could be great. Sitting back, allowing Mount to play that kind of inverted left forward role, allowing, Erling Haaland, allowing Hakimi to run in behind. Honestly, this guy could fit into most systems in world football. And I'd say he's probably the 3rd best holding DM in the Premier League at the age of 25 is insane.
Yeah, man. Look, some of the live chat are still talking about Rice. And let's talk a little bit about this, right? I mean, as we said, Declan Rice on his own right is a fantastic player. But the price tag is going to be a massive issue. West Ham are putting he's the prize player for West Ham. Do you know what I mean? West Ham came 5th. They're going to be in the Europa League, so they're going to get European football. And he's the West Ham captain. They are in no means wanting to get rid of this player. They want to keep him. And David Moyes have recently been touted to say, publicly actually, not touted, he's actually said this, that his minimum 100 million, minimum, if not more. So from that perspective, I feel like when you got someone like Phillips, let's be honest, it's not like he's miles away from Declan Rice or he can't even do that kind of role. I actually think under Thomas Tuchel's structure, the system, the technicality, the pressing, it matches what Bielsa does to a certain degree. And I probably think Phillips fits that. In regards to Rice, Taron, the price tag is insane.
Yeah, Rice is like really overpriced, in my opinion, for what he can do. I think English tax for players is a lot. We think of Harry Maguire. He was 80 million for a player who, in my eyes, is not worth that kind of money just because he's English in the Premier League. I think there's some kind of rule if you need to have a certain amount of Premier League players in your English players in the Premier League team.
I think so 7 or 8 or something. You need to have like 8 in the squad or something.
to even have a team that can compete in the Premier League. So yeah, that's probably why I think the tax so big. But my eyes, I think Phillips will still be quite expensive. I don't think people are thinking he's going to be like 20 million, 30 million. He's Leeds' his prized possession. He's the guy you mentioned. Bielsa will not want to leave any costs. So it's going to take a hefty offer to even tempt Leeds. He's 25 years old. He's not someone who they have to sell at the minute, unless if he pushes for a move, maybe I can see it being pushed down a little bit. But I don't think Phillips want to leave right now. Bielsa obviously values him a lot. He looks like he's enjoyed himself.
I'd say he's half Declan Rice's price, though. I'd say he'd be about 50 million.
Do you think? I think, yeah.
Because for me, 50, that's a decent amount. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think mostly Declan Rice's hype or the price has been driven up because of us. Us fans are hyping him up so much, his price has just skyrocketed up. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why it's pretty insane for all these other clubs to even think about someone like Declan Rice. I feel as Kalvin Phillips is not being touted by anyone else, I think we could probably snare him for about 50 mil.
50. I think 50 would be a little bit. I think 60 or 65 because he is their prized possession. And, Leeds aren't a team who are like 15, 16 in the Premier League. They finished in the top half this season.
They did.
The team are on the up. They
could be taken seriously.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like we're trying to buy like Luka Milivojevic. This is a big player for a massive team who are potentially better than Arsenal and Spurs at the minute, in my opinion, who are really on the up. They look like a club who are investing a lot of money. You saw Rafinha come in. You saw big players come in the summer like Robin Koch, like Diego Llorente. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be very, very cheap. But if we just go out of the blue and offer maybe 40 million, I don't know if Leeds are in financial difficulties right now. If they are, I think it's going to be hard to turn down. They can maybe replace him. Yeah, Leeds aren't a club who I say rely. I said are quite similar to Leicester, and they can maybe buy low-key players from different leagues to kind of replace that. You saw Timothy Castagne come in for Ben Chilwell. You can see a Leeds, maybe someone else could come in. Maybe Boubacar Samari could come in, maybe something like that, and it could really happen. But yeah, Phillips is going to be very expensive, and they're a big club. I think it's similar to buying like maybe Højbjerg, something like that. Maybe Everton's DM, maybe Allan will be similar to getting their star DM. So he's English as well. So I think 60 to 65 million. We'll see what the live chat have to say about that as well.
But some Leeds fans are here and they're not really appreciating how I said 50 million. Look, I was just throwing a number out there. As Taryn said, 60, 65 million, I'd still be happy with that. Because for me, Declan Rice at about 100 mil. I mean, considering what Rice, and I've seen Rice, and I'm pretty sure live chat, the Leeds fans who are in here right now, you would see Kalvin Phillips on a week-to-week basis, and you know exactly what sort of passing ranges he brings. I've seen, as I said, every time I got the opportunity to see any other game besides Chelsea, I've tried to tune in on Leeds, and every time I get blown away by the passing range of Kalvin Phillips. And I think it's superior to Rice's passing range. Rice is still very, very good in regards to passing, but I think Kalvin from that deep position, Taryn, how he can ping a pass, we've seen it with Bamford. We've seen it, how he opened up Bamford so nicely and literally just split open our defense. I saw it against Liverpool. I saw it against a few other teams as well. I think Aston Villa as well. They beat Aston Villa 3-0 early in the season.
It was 4-0, wasn't it? Away from home at Villa Park.
4-0. Yeah. So, I've seen enough of this player. It was just a shame that in between, I think he had a bit of an injury. So that was a bit of a shame. But for me, man, I mean, we should highly consider options. I know we link with Tchouaméni. By the way, if you were to weigh things up, we got nearly 100 people. Please smash the like button. Get to at least 100 likes, guys. If you're enjoying this stream, the debate, pretty soon I'm going to put in the link where you guys can join and be part of the show and give us your opinions as well. So stay tuned for that. So smash the like buttons. Get it to at least 100 likes, please. Helps the channel out a lot. But Taryn, if I was to say, if you were the Chelsea board and you're dealing with the finances and you saw the level of players, because I mean, you've watched Tchouaméni. You're one of those guys who watches a whole heap of other leagues. You've seen Rice. You've seen Phillips as well. Who you going with let's say Roman goes, I'm allowing you whatever funds you want. Go and buy whoever you need. Who fits in perfectly, in your opinion?
My God, that's a very, very difficult. That's a very good question. I mean, we have a lot of options. Tchouaméni's been mentioned in the live chat as well. This summer, I think it's clear that we're looking for players who are definitely going to improve us, not be squad players. We're not trying to do what we did in 2017, where we brought in, like I mentioned before, Bakayoko, Morata, Zappacosta. We're looking for players like Haaland, Hakimi, Declan Rice, Kalvin Phillips. We haven't looked at him yet. But in my eyes, I think it's bad to say because we're doing a stream about Kalvin Phillips, but I think Tchouaméni is just so
You
good.
like Tchouaméni. You like Tchouaméni.
I like him. I like him. Yeah, I think it's bad because this is the title of the video. But
it doesn't matter. It's your opinion, but it's your opinion.
Yeah, I think Tchouaméni is just the real deal. At his age, he's really played nearly every single game for Monaco this season. At the age of 21, in the team that finished third in Ligue 1, only 5 points off the top of the league. In a system under Niko Kovac, who's a former Bayern Munich manager. From what I've seen of Tchouaméni, he has a very, very similar passing range to Kalvin Phillips. And, I think passing range is not something you can compare to different leagues. I mean, physicality is definitely something. If you have the passing range, you have it all the different leagues.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have it. So Tchouaméni, I've seen ping, diagonals.
My only thing about Tchouaméni is that he's young still, very young. Do you know what I mean? And literally, it's just the first proper, very good season from him. Whereas someone like Kalvin Phillips, been part of the Leeds system, he's done really well in the Championship. He's now put in an unbelievable performance first season at Leeds in the Premier League. Obviously, Declan Rice, we've seen it. I mean, are you that confident with Tchouaméni that this is one of those special talents that it doesn't matter, the age doesn't matter?
Yeah, 100%, like a million trillion percent. I'm convinced that this guy is the one. I mean, 38 games. I mean, you could say he's not really experienced, but to play basically every single game under Kovac, not a period in the season where he's been taken out because he's young to, swap him for a more experienced player. This guy's played nearly every single game for Monaco, who are a team who are fighting. They reached Champions League football this season. From what I've seen, he has a passing range. He has goals from midfield. He's really hit some bangers from long shots, from headers, from corners. For me, it looks like nearly similar to Thomas Souček, but at DM, he can come forward. He can also play in the attack at times. And yeah, for me, 21 years of age, half the price of Kalvin Phillips. I know we don't really care about price tags right now. That's the kind of club we're going to in a minute. But yeah, from what I've seen in Tchouaméni, it's honestly, you need to watch some highlights of this guy. I've even watched Monaco game this season. I watched Monaco versus PSG. I mean, a team that's filled with players like, Marco Verratti, like Kylian Mbappe, Neymar. Tchouaméni was a guy who was dominating midfield. He was playing the balls up. Similar to Phillips yesterday against Croatia. Yeah, Tchouaméni is my guy, my option for half the price of Phillips. English tax is something that I really don't agree with. For players to be 80, 90 million just because of their nationality, it blows my mind. And we've seen it with West Ham at final this season. Leicester took a massive gamble in buying in a player from Saint Etienne who was
he looks like a big defender, bro. He's gonna be the next big sell for Everton. Leicester.
For Leicester, exactly. I mean, William Saliba is playing next to him the other season, and there was talk about him being the B-Tech Saliba, but he's much better than Saliba, in my opinion. What a player he was. And I think if we take that gamble, he's much better than Bakayoko. I really regret saying that on the stream once he said it to Bakayoko. But this guy is so good in a lone six role. I mean, Miz, that comes back to my question for you. I have to ask you, if you had the option like me for the board, you have Phillips, you have Rice, you have Tchouaméni. I know you really bigged up Phillips a lot. If did you say price tags out of the equation, actually, no. I mean, just just try and think, who would you choose out of all of them to play for Chelsea next season?
Honestly, it might sound like, here we go, reaction. No, it's not. I've literally not thought about this now that you've posed that question to me. As I said, the second team I've been following mostly in the Premier League is Leeds. So I've seen a lot of Kalvin Phillips. I've not even watched that much of West Ham games besides just highlights. And I definitely have not watched Tchouaméni play for Monaco because I just don't have the time to follow Monaco. So for me, I can only judge on what I've seen. And I've seen Phillips. And for me, I've always said it. Check out Matisse's channel to the live chat. If you know who Matisse is, I'm pretty sure you do. I've even said it in his channel literally about a couple of months ago that when we were talking about the central midfield positions. And I said, think about Kalvin Phillips. And Matisse was like, Kalvin Phillips. I'm like, yeah, man, this guy's very, very good. I've even said it in Eunice's channel as well a while back that Kalvin Phillips is very good. Check out my Twitter page. If you go the other side of the coin, Kalvin Phillips, you'll see maybe in December last year, I was talking about Kalvin Phillips. So for me, man, it's Kalvin Phillips because I feel like everything that we are sort of missing in that midfield, that combative player, do you know what I mean? Passing range, dribbling, shooting ability, even though he's not someone who scores a lot, but I think he can develop that. He's a mixture of a lot of our players. He's a mixture of Kova, he's a mixture of Kante, he's a mixture of Jorginho. He's got a bit of everything of all of those players. So he fits in nicely. Him and Kante, as the live chat was saying, that would go so nice. Him and Georginio would go nice as well, because Georginio could just stay deep and he could be the box-to-box. Him and Kovac could be nice as well, because he can be the holding midfielder, the defensive, combative player, and Kovac does his, driving that he's done for. So he's literally will go with every combination. So for me, it's him. Shout out to Father. Thank you so much for this, super chat. The other side of the coin, big up Miz and the gang. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I will now bring the live chat in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link, and I want to see what you guys have to say about this particular transfer. So I'm going to just post the link on in the live chat, and I'll pin it as well for momentarily. So if anyone's interested, jump on. Let us know your thoughts about Hakimi, what you think, whether this is going to happen or not from your perspective, and also the whole debate, Rice, Phillips. I mean, what do you prefer? Tchouaméni? I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So let us know. We've got here a particular comment that I want to bring out. Julian Lawrence rates him as high as Kante, saying he can be better in the English Premier League as he's better dribbler, passer. I think he's talking about Tchouaméni, because Julian Lawrence definitely would follow Tchouaméni. So, man, I better start following Tchouaméni, man. I mean, but by the way, did you watch any of the Monaco's sort of performances against the tougher sort of French teams like PSG or Lille? Like, did you get to watch Tchouaméni against them?
Yeah, I mentioned, I don't know if I lagged out or something, but yeah, I mentioned I watched the PSG game where Monaco came back in the game, and Tchouaméni got an assist for Kevin Volland to really get them back into the game. Neymar was kind of dropping deep and playing as like a false nine, and Tchouaméni, it was his task to man mark him, and he got this 250 million player looking like, I don't even know, what player can think of, Michael Obafemi for Southampton. Seriously, like, he was even there at times. And yeah, I think Julian Lawrence is a very respected journalist. He's someone who, when he talks, people listen. So when he talks about Tchouaméni highly, you have to rate him. And from what I've seen him, maybe the stats this season aren't thinking, 5, 10 goals, 10 assists from a lone DM role. He can get goals, he can get assists on the eye. He's a very pleasing player to watch. There was a comment here about his strength that's not really there. But like I said, this guy has a lot of physicality. He has a dribbling. He has the passing. He has a press resistance. He has a shooting. Yeah, this guy is only 21, and I think he can develop into one of the best DMs in the world. Yeah, RCB, and you mentioned it as well. When Julian Lawrence talks, he watches French football to a T. He knows all these young kind of players, how good they are. And if he rates him, I'm sure a lot of other people are going to rate him as well. So, yeah, from what I've seen,
100.
He's honestly the real deal.
100, man. Julian Lawrence is not messing around. All right, we're going to bring our first live call fan in. It's Father. Father, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, good, man. Good, man. First time hearing it. First time here.
I love it, man. It's really, really good to have you, man. Obviously, we've, sort of talked together at in Worldwide Chelsea's channel. Now it's great to have you. My man, what's your thoughts? Firstly, talk about the Hakimi situation. Are you one that really wants Hakimi, or you're looking at other options, and also talk about the whole Kalvin Phillips and Declan Rice debate.
Yeah, Hakimi situation, kind of like, I have to agree with some of your comments in that. I think if that turns out to be Thomas Tuchel's first signing, I mean, we're in for a treat. Arguably one of the best wing backs in the world right now. He can play as a right wing back, right back, left back, as a left wing back as well. And we've had that position unlocked for years. And the problem is with our fan base is that some of them really upset because, do we really need him in there? I don't know.
Livermento, bro.
They want Livermento and all that. But you have to understand that with this signing incoming to this team, we need that squad depth. Hakimi will not be there to replace Reece. No, Reece James I think he might be pushed as a right centre back. I think he would be there to give us like a lot of versatility on both sides. Can play on the right, but also on the left, which is awesome. And with Alonso and possibly Emerson leaving the club, and arguably he can fill that role alongside Ben Chilwell in case of an injury. Overall, it's a massive boost for the summer, that's for sure.
No, 100% agreed, man. I mean, I don't understand how some fans are saying, "Oh, but do we really need him?" I mean, this guy's world class. Like, you wanna fill the team with world class players. It's pretty crazy, and he's 22 as well, so it's literally a no brainer. Someone like Livermento. I mean, if Tuchel has plans, then he'll make sure whatever the contract situation is, he'll get that sorted. Father, what's your thoughts about the whole Declan Rice and Kalvin Phillips debate?
Do you know what, man? I'm not really that fancy about Declan Rice because of the price, literally. Because I'm looking at £80 million for Declan Rice, the guy that has been standout player for West Ham this season, and he literally carried West Ham to that Europa League places. They got the European football next season, let's be honest. And I think in their eyes, if they lose Declan Rice to one of the Champions League, arguably the rivals that has won the Champions League, arguably that's the biggest loss. But I don't think we necessarily need Declan Rice, because I would think, for me, Declan Rice is just too overpriced. I don't mind if we take him around 40 to 50 million, but I will not take him further than 60 million.
Bro, does it bother you that our fan base, I reckon we drove his price up, our fan base drove his price up. Does it bother you how sometimes our fan base moves for Declan Rice and then they don't seem to have the same energy for some of our players?
Little bit. I think the stats doesn't lie, innit? So no wonder some of our fan base get overhyped a lot about Declan Rice. I mean, the guy's got talent and minerals in his pocket, but I think what's our biggest problem is that we're hyping a lot about this player, and then all of a sudden, he's plot. That's the only thing that I might worry about him. But all in all, I think Declan Rice's stats doesn't lie at all. But it's just that the hype of the fans that really a bit worrying a little bit. But yeah.
Would you prefer someone like Kalvin Phillips?
No, my preferable choice would be Tchouaméni. That's for sure. Right. Tchouaméni is my target. I mean, the stats doesn't lie in France. Arguably one of the underrated, I would say, in terms of DM position. I think if we can get him in the summer as well, alongside Hakimi and maybe Haaland, that will be a massive boost for next season. That's for sure, because next season, Tuchel can want to target at least 5 trophies. Next season, we got that Super Cup, the Club World Cup in December, and maybe the couple of domestic cups, But all in all, I'm very excited where the future looks like. And if we get Tchouaméni to play alongside Kante, we could be I think that's for sure.
I love it. I do need to bring this comment in, and I want to get all your perspective, because this just caught my attention. Umair, thank you so much for the comment. I do appreciate this. Come on, Miz, do you really think West Ham board are looking at our tweets and setting a value? Lol. Okay, let me tell you something, Umair. The board may not be looking at Twitter. They're not logged in and looking at Twitter. But I'm telling you, there are other representatives around the clubs, whether it's players. There are players, Declan Rice, he's in some of our fans' WhatsApp messages. I'm telling you right now. You think that they don't see this. Every single player sees all of this stuff. And once the player sees it, these players are then, connected with agents. You think agents are not seeing this? You think then some of the members from the agents and some other parts in the hierarchies of West Ham or other boards are not seeing what the fan base? I mean, think about it. And I'll go to you, Taryn, first up. If you were part of a board and you wanted to gauge what the fans were seeing and saying about your club and who they want and whatnot, it is important. They don't just disengage from this sort of stuff. They do a scan as to see what's the fans thinking. Obviously, they're not going to do what the fans are asking, but they do gauge what the fans are seeing and thinking. And the fact that we've been touted, to be linked with Declan Rice for a couple of seasons now, and how mad the fan base has been going. You think the West Ham hierarchies don't see that from the Chelsea fan base? I feel they 100% see that. Do you know what I mean? All the in the knows, they see it, and they probably pass it on as well. So for me, you may think it's a laughable sort of situation, Amir, but I'm telling you, they are well aware that Chelsea fan base is literally dying for these sort of players. What's your thoughts, Taryn?
Yeah, maybe not Twitter, but on Instagram, when maybe they post about Declan Rice, something, they see the hundreds of thousands maybe of comments over a week of people just saying Rice to Chelsea, Rice in, Rice is better than Georginio, stuff like that. And the social media manager is obviously going to pick up on his phone being blown up by notifications about Rice. That's probably going to go to maybe a higher up member of the board, then higher up, then higher up, then higher up, till it comes to a stage where it comes to maybe one of the highest members of the board, where they think maybe we can squeeze more money out of them. I think football is mostly revolving around money right now. They're going to want as much value as possible, anything to drive up the value, whether it's fan hype, whether it's English tax, whether it's a former academy player being at that club. I think all the factors are making his value so high. It's mostly a combination of his, being English, all this hype, the fact that he's 21 years of age. That all comes together. They've definitely seen these tweets. Maybe Amir finds it. Yeah, maybe it does sound a bit funny at first to see.
But Declan Rice has liked my tweet. Have I told you guys this story? Last season, when Ampadu went on loan and Alex Goldberg wrote something about the Declan Rice situation, and I said, "Oh, that clearly means we're going after Declan Rice since Ampadu's gone to Sheffield United." Declan Rice liked my tweet. Then he unliked it, but it was captured in my notification when I woke up. So I took a screenshot of that, and then I tweeted, "Oh my God, I think this is happening. He's literally like that. We're getting him." He then DM'd me saying, "No, please don't misunderstand me. That was just by mistake. I completely appreciate Ampadu, da-di-da-di-da," because I tweeted that, right? So then I had to delete that tweet because he said, "Could you please take that down?" Because that's not what he meant. Simon Phillips then retweeted my tweet off the back of that as well, because I was the one who got that like from my post, and I had to take it down. So I'm telling you, these players, they see all of these things. They do. Omer, values are driven by how important the player is for the club contract. 100%, my man. There is no doubting that aspect. That's the basis of it. But don't disregard the fan hype. I'm telling you, there is some value in it as well. Father, my man, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to bring in the next caller. Do appreciate the super chat as well. Thank you, my man. Andrew, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, hi, Miz. Hi, Taryn. How you guys doing?
Good. What's your thoughts about... Let's talk about the Declan Rice and Kalvin Phillips. That's more sort of the spicy part. And then obviously we'll touch a little bit on Hakimi. What's your take on the Declan Rice situation, man? Too expensive? Would you consider someone like Kalvin Phillips?
The Declan Rice one, as much as, we're looking to spend on Haaland, I don't think the board will spend that much on Declan Rice with single transfer fee, and apparently his wage demands are astronomical as well. Yeah. So it's like, do they see that whole package and go, is that worth it? It's financially sound. If we're going to spend 154 million pounds on Haaland and overall 350 million, we're going to spend another 100 to 200 million pounds on Declan Rice. I just don't see that. I see them as much as they're gonna, because you can tell I'm okay with them spending 154 million pounds on Haaland, and I'm usually one that goes, I don't care how much people are worth. They want to spend it on Haaland, fine, I have no issue, but I just don't think they will want to spend that much on Haaland.
Yeah, no, that makes...
You know what I mean? And then I rate Kalvin Phillips. I think, though, that some Chelsea fans are maybe getting caught in the moment because of his display yesterday. I think it might be a little bit... I know you haven't, because I know you've said it like loads of times. Yeah. But I think I was reading like yesterday, or I'm finding a lot of people that yesterday, they haven't never said Kalvin Phillips before. To Chelsea, and then yesterday again, yeah, he'd be great next to Kante, Georginio Wijnaldum, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, he had a very good game and he's very good, but let's just see, you know what I mean? Tchouaméni's my personal pick.
Another one, Miss.
Yeah, that's 3 Tchouaménis now, man. Tchouaméni stocks are rising.
Tchouaméni makes more sense for future as well, and price range and everything like that. I just need an extra quality extra body in midfield next season, because you guys would have noticed by the end Georginio was running on fumes by that Champions League final. I know he played well, but because Kovacic was injured, we couldn't rotate him and Kante.
They need a backup. Well, let's be honest. We need a backup. Do you know what I mean? We need 4 good quality midfielders to challenge for titles next season, not just Premier Leagues, domestic. Again in the Europe as well, Super Cup, Club World Cup. So there's a lot, and to hinge a lot of our hope purely on Billy Gilmore as the 4th sort of backup, that's a lot to ask for a youngster like Billy. So we definitely need that experience. But going back to the Tchouaméni thing, Andrew, is he someone that you've seen a lot, and you think that it doesn't matter about the age? This guy is very good.
I got Well, I heard that Chelsea fans bring him up, and I thought, and I have to look at him because I need an opinion on him. So, like I said, I watched him, like Terence, I watched him against PSG, which I think is the ultimate test in France, obviously.
Yeah.
And he stood out. And if you're standing out in a game that has the likes of Verratti in it, Paredes, Neymar, Mbappe, and he's standing out. And look how much Cesc Fabregas rates him as well.
Cesc loves him, man. Cesc loves him.
He doesn't want anyone buying him. That's how much he loves it. He said he wants to play with him in the future. I just think he is someone you can develop, as well. And I mean, he can, like you said, I think he's a bit of all three of Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante.
Yeah.
But if he comes to us, he's learning from all three of them. You know what I mean? It's like,
because he's the youngster.
He's the youngster, and then also it's like you said, we need extra body, and not only to rotate Jorginho, but to also not put a burden on Kante as well.
Yeah.
So you just leave it. You just rotate them.
Nah, perfect, man. Yeah, the whole thing about Kalvin Phillips is that, look, I think I'm only saying that is because I don't get to watch other clubs like you guys. I haven't seen Germany. Maybe if I had seen a lot more, maybe my conversation would have been different. I'm saying it from a perspective where, as I said, Chelsea is probably the only sort of games I get to watch because it's just so draining to watch any other ones with family and everyone. But whenever I do get that odd moment, I love watching Leeds, man, because of Bielsa, the way they play, the way they set up. And I've seen a lot of Kalvin Phillips, and I've said it. The crazy thing about the whole social media thing is, Andrew, it's really driven by, I'm talking about your 50K accounts or your 100K accounts or your 150K accounts. I know I've got about 22K at the moment, but that's not something that you can drive. So the bigger people, they've always talked about Rice. They've always, ever since. And what has happened is the exposure they have then just spreads quicker to the fan base. Then journalists start picking up on that and they start talking about that. So, it's crazy. Let me put it this way for you, Andrew. I feel it's a little bit crazy that Kalvin Phillips doesn't get same level of energy across all sorts of fan base, not just Chelsea, because I think he's a damn good midfielder. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Declan Rice, Andrew, as you see, our fan base dies for this particular player, and he's a West Ham player.
I know, yeah. I've never seen it. Even on Twitter, I've never seen it. It's kind of, for me, it's kind of a bit embarrassing.
Honestly, I hate it. I hate it now. I hate to praise him now. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it. See, for me, I think if he wasn't Mason Mount's best mate, I don't know if half these guys would even bother rating him that much. Because if you notice in every other message, they always put like a Mount. They always put Mount's name in it or a Mount picture of the guys. It's like what you want to buy him because he's best mates with Mount. I'm sorry, I don't care. It's like I don't. Alonso's probably best mates with one of the first teamers. I don't want him in the team. Do you know what I mean? So why would I'm not saying Rice is bad, but I'm just saying, are we buying Rice? Are you buying Rice because you really rate him and you think he's going to do well? Because I don't know if he's going to really. He'll impact the squad, but I don't know if he'll impact it that much. Where it's like like Hakimi. I think Hakimi elevates the entire back line. I think he elevates the squad because he can do so much.
I love it, bro. I love it. I love a Hakimi prop, man. Hakimi's my man.
He would come in, which means Reece James can concentrate on right centre back and a little bit of right wing back. Him and Azpilicueta can rotate that right centre back. You then move Christian across the middle, who can fill in for Thiago Silva. It's really only the left-hand side, where it's Rudiger, and are you keeping Zuma or are you going to bring in someone else? And then Hakimi can also fill in on the left. I'm not all in on Hakimi filling on the left that much because I'd rather get like a specialist left wing back or left back just because it's balanced. Hakimi having to come in on his right foot might not be much, but I just think that will elevate it. Where Rice, he's good, but is he better than your options you already got there? And if you're buying him for 90 million, you have to play him. You can't put him on the bench.
And the thing, Andrew, is the names that we've already dropped in the likes of what you guys said, Shermani, and I've said about Kalvin Phillips, and we've all said both of these players seem to have a bit of all of the other midfielders that we have.
Yeah.
I don't know if Declan Rice necessarily has everything what Jorginho has. I don't know if Declan Rice necessarily has what Kovacic has. And I don't know if Declan Rice has what Kante has. Declan Rice is a fantastic player on his own. I get that. But the other two that we mentioned seems to have a bit of all the other facets. Do you know what I mean?
But
If
you're buying him for 90 million, though, you expect him to have
all of that.
All of that from day
All
one.
of that.
So it's like, but if he doesn't, and then you're going, £90 million, is the manager then forced to play him? I don't want to get into the fact that Thomas Tuchel, because you bought him for 90 million, you're forced to play him. I just don't want that. It doesn't. It then spreads disharmony among the group because you got like Kovacic or Georginio Wijnaldum or even Billy Gilmour going, this guy's, I'm better than this guy, or this guy's not that great or that better than me. I just don't know where it's like Tchouaméni. He comes in, he's 19, 20. He's about 50 million pounds, probably about over 100 million pounds less when you think about all the financial stuff. Yeah. He comes in, he's bright, willing to learn. He's got Kante there. Probably Kante is one of his idols or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably. Willing to learn like that. Thomas Tuchel has basically got another one he can mould, and because you've seen this already, his coaching what he's done already with this squad. I mean, look what he's done. And
Thomas Tuchel's got the understanding of the French league as well. So
yeah. Look at his coaching, what he's done with his coaching, what he's done to Ben Chilwell. I mean, Ben Chilwell is a far better defensive player. Remember last season when Leicester fans were laughing at us saying Ben Chilwell he can't defend. What are they saying?
European champion, baby.
But just look at his coaching, what he's done, and just his man management. If you get someone like Tchouaméni in, I mean, that's just someone he can mould from basically the start of his career. And like you say, he knows the French league as well. So.
100. Andrew, thank you so much for your time. I'm bringing the next caller. Andrew, honestly, loved it, man. I hope you do come back again on the channel. Yeah. Honestly, it's been good. Thank you so much, my man. Thank you.
Thanks, Taryn. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Undercover, my man. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. What's your thoughts on, first of all, Hakimi? Do you feel this is probably happening for us? And then secondly, the whole debate about Declan Rice or Kalvin Phillips or even Tchouaméni. Let us know what your thoughts are.
First of all, I think we don't need Hakimi personally. I think we have lots of players in that position. And if you do sign a player like Hakimi, that means you have to play a three at the back formation. So, yeah.
It's pretty much sorted that way. You're probably going to play three, linking with that kind of players. I mean, you're not happy with that formation. You wanna revert back to a 4?
Yeah, I like three at the back, but the only problem with three at the back is like the attacking side lacks because it's such a possession-heavy formation. So if when you're playing 4 at the back, you create more chances. When you're playing 3 at the back, you're just relying on possession and trying to like walk the ball into the goal. It's all about pass and move.
But do you feel making chances has been the issue for us? Because I feel like we do make a lot of chances, just we don't finish it.
Or it depends what team we play though. Because when we're playing a team that likes to sit back, we can't create anything. But when we're playing like a team like Man City or like a Liverpool, we play a high line. That's when we create so many chances. That's when we find it easy to score. But
So you reckon if it's a 3 on the back and if it's a low block, a player like Hakimi wouldn't help out because he's very, very good.
Hakimi gets a low block, wouldn't do anything. Hakimi thrives with spaces to run at, to use his pace. That's when Hakimi's at his best.
What about his passing? What about his crossing?
Yeah, his passing is good though, but Hakimi's main attribute is running down the line and crossing it to a striker. In the Premier League, you won't get that much space to like drive. That's what I'm saying.
You only need one opportunity just to get a counter because they don't always just park the bus. But look, that's for another day of conversation. Just quickly, what's your thoughts? Monster, hang in there in the studio. I'm going to bring you in very, very soon. Undercover, what's your thoughts on Kalvin Phillips or Declan Rice or Tchouaméni?
Yeah, I think we definitely need to sign one of the 3. I think for me, if you talk about an actual defensive midfielder, I think Declan Rice is the best out of the 3. If you're going with all round like ability, maybe a Tchouaméni.
Okay.
Yeah, But I think
Perfect.
Declan Rice for his price is just too expensive.
Yeah, no, I
Way
mean
too
that
expensive.
100 mil price tag is pretty insane. All right, Undercover, thank you so much for your time. I want to bring in Monster once again. Undercover, man, hope to see you again on the channel. Man.
You too.
Thank you, my man. Monster, my bro, it's been a while. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing? You good?
We're buzzing, bro.
Good.
We're buzzing. The debate is flying. Monster, we got you here. I know we're going to get some good conversation. Declared's in the background as well. Declared, hang in there. I'm going to bring you in. That's probably going to be the last caller of the day. So, guys, that will be it. We've got Monster and then Declared, and that's pretty much it. I'll end it after that. But Monster, enough about Hakimi. I think we both know Hakimi would be a great upgrade. I mean, you can give us your opinion on that at the end, but I do want to hear from you about the whole Declan Rice situation. I mean, could we consider someone like Kalvin Phillips instead? And also Tchouaméni. A lot of people are telling me, Monster, that, that's a bit reactionary after watching one England game. And I've been saying to them literally, the other team that I get to watch whenever I do get to watch any other teams is Leeds, and I've been following Leeds from the start of last season. You would have probably seen some of my tweets as well, Monster, that I've talked about Kalvin Phillips. You even said it at Matisse's channel. You said that, and I said it as well about Kalvin Phillips good 2-3 months ago. So
Yeah.
talk to me about Declan Rice, his price tag, and what he brings to the team and his skill set. And do you think someone like Kalvin Phillips or even Tchouaméni deserves a lot more attention, I suppose?
The thing is with Declan Rice, obviously, it's the chemistry element as well. He is an excellent defensive midfielder, very good, tackling, covers the ground very well. Also, is a Chelsea boy. Do you get what I mean? Very good passing as well. His passing is quite good as well. So obviously, we all know he's Chelsea's #1 defensive midfield target. Now, obviously, there's a huge stumbling block in front of him, which is that price tag West Ham has slapped on him. And kind of rightfully so. He's their most important player.
Yeah.
He's their captain and their leader. And I get that. Will Chelsea pay that money? I think we all know the answer to that. That's a no. I think what Chelsea, I think we are going to get a midfield target this summer. I think with Declan Rice, what Chelsea are going to try to do is they're going to try get him to run down his contract and then go for him. That's what's going to happen. So when we're talking about being realistic, I think Declan Rice is not realistic this summer. With Tchouaméni also great passing. He's learning. He used to be a deep line playmaker, has now turned into a bit of a box-to-box midfielder, can also play as a holding defensive midfielder as well. I think he's brilliant, and I think he's the most realistic target for this summer. From what I've been seeing, it's possible that Chelsea might have already agreed personal terms with him. But that doesn't mean anything because you can always agree personal terms with a player. It all just depends on what the clubs, whether the clubs can come to an agreement on the price and whatever. So with him, he's the most realistic target this summer. And then when there's Kalvin Phillips, this is someone that I put forward, to people that watch my streams last year.
I love it. I'm buzzed. I'm buzzed.
I said, when you look at Chelsea, the problem Chelsea have is they haven't replaced a Fabregas type of player in their midfield. Now, Kalvin Phillips ain't just that. He's a mixture of a Fabregas in a way because of his passing ability is so brilliant. He's also got that energy like Kante has. And the guy is
and tackling as well. Tackling like Kante as well.
Yes. And he's such a brilliant player. He can run for 90 minutes. And that's the way Leeds play if you watch Leeds play. If you guys remember when we played Leeds earlier on in the season, we beat them. There was a beautiful ball played into Bamford, took Zuma completely out of the game, and Bamford beat, who was in goal? Was it Kepa? I think it was.
It was Mendy. It was
Mendy, yeah. Kepa beat the goalkeeper. I mean, Bamford beat the goalkeeper and they scored, and we ended up winning that game 3-1. The person who played that ball into him was Kalvin Phillips. I personally think this guy's going to end up at Man City, but if the opportunity arises, I always said Chelsea should go and get this guy.
100, bro.
We should be planning for, a bit of the future and now. With Tchouaméni, you could say Tchouaméni is going to replace Kante long term, so it's good to bring him in now as well. Kalvin Phillips is such a hybrid of a midfielder that he's everything in one. Imagine.
I said it, Monster. He's got a bit of Kovacic with the dribbling. He's
Yeah.
got the passing range like Jorginho, probably not as high. Like he's still got that passing range.
Yeah.
I think very, very good passing range. And he's got that interception, the tackling, the engine of Kante. He's literally got all three of them.
Yeah, yeah. He's so good. People don't. I don't know. In England, we tend to laud, the top 6 players and things like that. When Leeds have been brilliant this season, and considering they just came up from the Championship, and he's been that integral piece in the midfield. Marcelo Bielsa, this guy is known for bringing up some of the greatest midfielders in the world. Do you know what I mean? And he rates this guy very highly, and you can see what this guy can do in it. I think someone said, I think he will end up at Man City. I don't think he'll end up at Chelsea because I don't think we're looking at him. But Man City is where he's going to end up. But, you can shape your midfield around a guy like this. Do you get what I mean? Imagine him next to Kante. It would be brilliant because he's a good all-round midfielder. So, listen, I think he's great. I think we'll end up with Tchouaméni this season, and maybe Rice will come next season. I think the future of our midfield will probably be Tchouaméni, Rice, and Billy Gilmore down the years. So I always tell people, don't think because we might not buy Rice this season that he won't necessarily end up at Chelsea. This guy loves Chelsea. So we can end up seeing both Tchouaméni and Rice end up at Chelsea one day. Let's just wait and be patient.
Bro, talk to me about, lastly, before I let you go, I'll get declared in as well. I mean, I saw your tweet the other day about how praising Declan Rice is a West Ham player. You've never seen this kind of madness in the 90s, or even early 2000s. I've never seen this sort of madness either, Monster. I appreciate Declan Rice. I think he on his own is a very good player. But it's starting to put a little bit of sour taste in my mouth. It's because how our fan base moves for this particular player. And it's getting borderline annoying where if you look at it, you would have watched the England match yesterday, Monster.
Yeah.
Kovacic, from an opposition point of view, had a very good game. Kovacic is probably their best player for Croatia. Do you know what I mean? But you'll not hear anything from our fan base about Kovacic. Do you know what I mean? Like, not a single player. But Declan Rice, you will hear everything about. Do you know what I mean? And that's what sort of annoying.
I do think, obviously, I think it's weird because knowing the rivalry and how, these guys, like I said in the tweet that, back in the 90s, early 2000s, outside Upton Park and outside Stamford Bridge, the West Ham fans and England fans would be cracking each other's heads going at it. I'm not saying Declan Rice is not a brilliant player. And I'm not saying, obviously, he's a Cobham boy as well. I can't even deny that element. There's nothing wrong in praising him. What my issue was the way people were praising him or using that praise to tear down Georginio, which I thought was very, very, that part, I was like, so you're propping up, which I don't have a problem with. You're propping up a West Ham captain, but it's not that you're propping him up. It's that you're using that prop to now tear down your own vice captain. And I feel that's very weird. I feel it's disgusting. The way over the last few years, I think since Sarri came in, Chelsea fans have treated Georginio has been horrible, has been nothing short of nasty. The way they booed him in the stadium, and I always used to say, like, when you're booing Georginio or booing Rudiger or Kovacic or any of these players, but you want them to perform at the highest level. How do you expect that to happen? If you want them to perform, you've got to give them the best atmosphere to perform. True, or you guys are giving them a horrible atmosphere to perform. Like it makes absolutely no sense, and I just feel like it's just some of what our fan base has treated the way our fan base has treated our players has been disgusting, and it's just weird to see. And I just feel we should be doing better. We should be doing so much better. We're Chelsea fans at the end of the day. Prop up your players, prop up your players. Stop downing them and things like that.
The man's a European champion. Do you know what I mean? He's won the Europa League with us. He's won the Champions League with us. I mean, what more does this guy need to do?
Listen, he was one of our most important players in the Champions League, right?
100.
He to me, a lot of people are gonna say he's not a legend or whatever you want to call it, but he's already done legendary things for this club. He's done something not many players in Chelsea's history has done. He's won the
Champions League twice.
Yeah, he's won a Champions League and he's won a Europa League. He won a Champions League within 3 years and being an integral part to this team. Look, none of our legends did that. It took them 9, 11, 12, 13 years to be able to win the Champions League. John Terry he came from the academy. It's been there a very, very long time. This guy's come in within 3 years and has done that. But yet we still go at him as if he's not been so important to our team. And I can't understand it. I've never seen this from any other fan base. I've never seen this with any other Chelsea player, if I'm being honest with you. The team that won the Champions League, we had love for every single player. Every single
Ryan Bertrand. We have love for Ryan Bertrand.
Raul Meireles, who came from Liverpool. We have love for him. So I feel like with Georginio, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I've never seen it before. And I hope Chelsea fans can just support your players. That's all I say. Just support your players, man. Give them the support they need. Give them the atmosphere they need to perform. And yeah, simple as that.
Man, that is so beautifully said. I can't wait to clip this part and really put it on Twitter and let that blow up, hopefully. But Monster, my man, thank you so much for your time. Honestly, appreciate it, my brother. Man. Hope to see you again very soon in the channel, my man.
No worries, man. You guys have a nice day, man.
Have a nice day.
Take care. Take care. We're going to bring in the last caller and we'll wrap things up very soon. Declared, my man, how you doing?
What's going on? Aaron, miss.
It's another day, another stream. How you doing?
I know, I love it. Every day, you're killing it.
Declared, what's your thoughts, man? Firstly, Hakimi, do you think this is in the bags? Then after that, we'll talk about the whole, Declan Rice thing. But firstly, Hakimi, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, he ticks boxes, doesn't he? Yeah, we need him. I think the big one that is not being said, the Ziyech connection. I think Ziyech has had a slow start. There's more in him, and I think maybe he can be linked up when let's say we rest Mount. He's going to come into that role on the right side. Maybe they can hook up. Maybe there's something there. Maybe making they both settle well, just to help to settle even. I think there's ticks so many boxes. He's at a young age. I've been shouting about a dynasty. I love going for the best young players now. That's what I'm all about, and he ticks those. It just sounds a lot right. A lot of it right. And I heard the deal with Emerson in there. I think that's a win-win for every party. So I'm all for Hakimi.
100%, man. Emerson wants to go back to Italy. He's been touted to go to Inter Milan. Inter Milan kind of wants him as well. Inter Milan wants to sell players because they need to raise money financially. They're in a bit of a mess. So Hakimi's selling, as we did a stream literally 3-4 days ago with Taron, when the live sort of, stream and there was the news breaking from Sky Sports, it all ticks the box for Hakimi, Bundesliga experience. Thomas Tuchel knows about that league, pressing, counter-pressing, wing-back. Hakimi's probably the best wing-back at the moment. When it comes to wing-back play, he's probably the best one in the world. He can fill in on the right. He can fill in on the left. I mean, it's just, I don't know what else to say. It just, if we are looking to improve that side, it definitely fits that. From a Declan Rice and Kalvin Phillips and Tchouaméni point of view, what's your thoughts?
The Rice one it's funny, yeah. We've been sold Rice for 2 years, yeah. That it's like he's going to end up at Chelsea. The Chelsea fans, like what you just talked with Monster, was a lot of points I was going to bring up. We've been sold. It's all they show pictures. Declan Rice with Chelsea players. He used to be. They've. I'm telling, and maybe maybe Declan Rice feels the same too. Maybe this is all we've put it in his head. And it's eventually going to happen. Maybe that's why the Chelsea fans are almost the same, because they've sold it like it's going to happen. That he's going to come back to Chelsea, and that's the story that's been told for 2 years. That's why Chelsea fans that praise him, they almost praise him like he's already a Chelsea player.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I'm sure Taron, you would have also seen this. Straight after the English match finished, Mason Mount posted a picture of himself and Declan Rice. I think there was other pictures as well, but there was one from him and Declan, raising their hands up together, and all Chelsea fans, oh, when's Declan coming? From that perspective, Taron, Declared is right that it's like we've been sold that it's going to happen whether we like it or not. Like, just get on board. Like, do you feel that way as well?
It's a matter of when, not if, I think. I mean, if it's going to be this season, next season, like Monza said, the season after, I think it's definitely going to happen. Chelsea fans have accepted that Rice is going to be our player. And I think Rice has probably accepted it at some stage, whether he's going to come soon. And I think that's kind of the factor why fans on Twitter and everything are kind of saying, you know, I like Mon said, I don't agree with anything that's happening with Georginio, but people are being sold about Rice already. And I just don't agree until he's physically holding up the shirt. I just don't personally agree that players are literally people acting like that he's already our player. I don't really agree with it. We literally haven't even agreed personal terms, a transfer fee, anything with West Ham. They're being really stingy with what they want. And,
Taryn, put it this way: when West Ham plays against Chelsea, he's going to be wanting West Ham to win. Like that should be more than enough for us to say, well, he's not a Chelsea player yet. Do you know what I mean?
I thought you were going to say Chelsea for a minute. I was like, whoa, just relax yourself. But yeah, it'd be mad if he scores against Chelsea. Then I don't know what the fan base is going to do. They're still going to be saying, oh, what a player. We need to sign him. He's just scored and made us lose a game. But nah, it's just, it's crazy, man. It's crazy what's going on. Declared put it perfectly as well.
Declared, but if it was up to you though, my man, I mean, is a Rice, do you like Kalvin Phillips at all? I mean, I'm not sure if you've seen Leeds much or anything like that. Obviously, the England match yesterday with Germany. I mean, what's your thoughts if it was up to you?
The Phillips one's funny, It just popped up now after one English game. I'm a big EPL fan, soccer fan. I watch a lot of the games. Yeah, he's been a good player. There is a little age difference as well. Maybe we're going to state that between him and Rice.
Yeah. I think Kalvin Phillips is 25.
Yeah, so
still good age.
Rice is 22. It's still great age. I think Rice. Phillips is too early. Yeah, he's just popped up. I think we should be going for the younger players. I mean, to me, I still think, Georginio is 29, Kante 30. I think the roles they play aren't. Kante is on another level, but I think you can be older and play those roles. Like Georginio can stay a long time. He could do that job for a long time. I don't think
he probably could, because he doesn't exert that much. Like from that position, you don't really need to exert that much energy. Like Pirlo played for a long time.
Exactly, it's all the brain. That's why, and that's why I've been a big fan of Georginio from when we were linked to him, and I've been defending him for so long. Like I don't know, if you heard. I don't think it's an English term, but like even some of my mates said they called him a crab walker, like that because the short distance they move from and the short passes. And I don't think that's an English term, but I'm like, you guys are just idiots making those terms. If people don't understand his job, that role. If you even see him off the ball, he's telling where everyone should pass
players
the ball.
need to be.
Where you need to be. He's dictating on the park. But even all these names that we've been linked with, no one can do his job. I mean, as no one can do what he does. People can come in and do the job in a different capacity, but no one can do what he does. We're not getting a Georginio replacement. That's why all these names and people and the guy goes through so many passes compared to every other player, right? And then he makes one mistake and everyone jumps on him for how long, right? And they turned him. I didn't get because there's very few players that can do what he does. And when players are unsure, right, of where to go, they pass to Georginio because Georginio knows, right? And we're not getting a replacement for him. These, Rice, Tchouameni, even Phillips, they're not replacements.
No,
they can play that.
They'll be an addition.
They can do that. They can play that position, right? But they can't do what he does. And maybe, and I'm hoping Gilmore is being groomed to be
like that. Yeah,
to be like that. All right. Because I think the best development of Kovacic was when he was being the backup for Georginio, when he was being trained for that backup, if you remember, right? And I think that's when Kovacic became that better player. And so that's how I feel about that role, and that's why I feel like people just throwing names. Like people still hold that thing against Georginio.
They do.
He's underappreciated.
100% agreed, man. Declared. Honestly, look at Man City. Pep Guardiola. He literally cannot find out who is holding midfielder against us. He's played a double six, he's played a single six, he's played a no six, and he's still not happy because he wanted a player like Georginio. He literally wanted Georginio to be part of that Man City team. But yeah, Declared, my man, thank you so much for your time. We will end this stream very soon. Alex, before we wrap things up, I really like this comment. For me, our need is Haaland. Apart from that, be it Rice, Tchouaméni, Hakimi, are all value additions. Our squad is already well drilled and got a deep squad too. I have to agree with you, my man. I mean, yeah, I would love Hakimi. Yes, he improves us massively. But if we don't get him, I think we can still manage with Reece James and Azpilicueta. And then you've got the whole Livramento side of it. May not be the best solution, but it's not like it's disastrous either. I would like Hakimi because it allows us to, really challenge for stuff. But Haaland is by far the number one. You get Haaland in there, I think it's a different ball game next season for us. We're going to bang in a lot of goals, and that will translate to more wins and hopefully more trophies. So completely understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end. Declared, my man, thank you so much for your time, my man.
Thank you. I love it. Keep going. Keep the streams.
Awesome.
I'm going to be here all the time.
Thank you, bro.
Bye.
See you guys.
Thank you. Taryn, that brings us till the end. Live chat, literally I'm 15 away likes to get to 100. Please, there's 170 of you guys. Smash the like button, get to at least 100 likes. As I said, if you've enjoyed this, the whole stream, we've had some amazing debates, amazing fans that have come in and given their opinions as well. Smash the like button, get it to 100 likes at least, helps the channel out. And leave your comments afterwards. If you've just come in, check out the whole stream. Leave your comments, and I literally love interacting with you guys on YouTube. Seriously, I'm even enjoying it a lot more than Twitter. I spend a lot of time here. So comment below. And before I go, if you're here for the first time, subscribe. And also with Taryn, ladies and gentlemen, please, he's one of my main members in this channel. His socials are in the description right now. Go follow him, please, on Twitter and his podcast, The Perfect Hat-Trick Podcast. He brings some amazing guests over there. So help support him as well, guys. Wow, we've already got 98 likes. Literally 15 likes just came out of nowhere. A couple of more likes, and that'd be much appreciated. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Until next time, everyone. See you.